Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of 1911 Syndicate. Today we're talking war belts. This, depending on where it falls in the line, may be the last belt of the series. We did 4 total. Go back and check those out, or if this is the first of the series, wait for the release of the others. So I'm not quite sure where this is going to fall in line, but regardless, belt. And this belt is from none other than our villain and good friend, Jeff Wilbur from RDR Kydex. Great belt. I'm excited to review it. He was kind enough to help us build this out. But before we get into that, a little bit of housekeeping. Believe it or not, all of this craziness with gear and guns is related to real estate. How? We're still trying to figure that out ourselves. Jake, the other co-host that thank goodness is not here today, and I don't got to put up with his bullshit, is an agent in beautiful Salt Lake City. I'm down in Arizona, Phoenix area. Other housekeeping stuff we got to do outside of that is, obviously you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. Whenever we drop these videos, Jake and I will get in the comment section that night. And for the most part, the second night, to interact with you guys, chit chat, talk shit to one another. You guys roast us, we roast you. It's a lot of fun, so jump in there. And last but not least, we do have a newsletter we're going to start putting out regularly that has information for products, companies we're affiliated with, when those companies drop new products, where to find them, all that good information. Subscribe to that newsletter if you would like to. You should do it. If Jake was here, he'd be an asshole and tell you to do it. I'm going to give you the option, but it does help us out. It'll help you out with product releases, and I promise we will not spam you. Moving on, jumping into this belt. This belt here is from RDR Gear. Jeff is a really good close friend of ours. He's been in a lot of content with us, Cheap Gun Challenge, as well as some other reviews with us. Our boy Crispy, who does our videography, also works with Jeff on some of his content. So it's very different, which is good because Crispy can't do the same thing for 2 companies, obviously, but you still get quality content with Jeff. So a little bit of a connection there, as well as just giving you some backstory about how we all have worked together and all that good stuff. So don't know if that's necessary, don't know if you care, but you got the information. So Jeff has a two belt system, or your inner layer, outer layer, much like a lot of belts on the market currently. His inner belt is super rigid. I mean, that thing isn't moving at all. He doubles up the webbing, so it's ultra stiff and rigid, which is nice if you're going to be spending all day on the range and you want the weight of your belt to be on the belt and not on your body. Obviously this is still going to be on your body, but with it being this rigid, it distributes the weight of all the gear that's on your belt very nicely. Much like all your other systems, he has his outer belt here, which he does slightly different. It's still your MOLLE attachments, and this is multicam, where this is going to be your like a coyote tan. He has it on his website, so you could do like a black inner belt and a multicam outer belt, however you want to do it. But we did tan with multicam outer, which I think, you don't really see the colors that much, but it is a cool little setup, and I think they complement each other well. Jeff does his belt a little different in a good way. So most belts, and we're just going to throw this holster on while we're doing this real quick. Most belts, you have these little shitty elastic keepers for the extra slack that's in the belt. They're just like little nylon keepers. Jeff, in a very smart way, let me thread this on here real quick, built in that keeper into the belt. So basically your extra slack or your tail end here, once you get your Cobra buckle on, but this will fold back down on itself, so you don't need those little shitty keepers. What you can do is, once you get the belt to the right length you want, it keeps itself with hook and loop on the inside of the belt. So as this is against your body, that slack isn't going to fall out or move anywhere for 2 reasons. 1, it's against your body. 2, it's Velcroed on, which is awesome. So Jeff, very, I don't know if innovative is the word, but just problem solving. Like, we don't need these extra little things that a lot of war belts come with if you just sew it on and the belt keeps on itself, right? So pretty cool setup. I really like it. Holster that I'm running for this belt, much like the others, is the Safariland Qls System. This is a mid-ride plate. What this allows is, depending on what pistol I'm going to use that day on the range, I can switch out all my holsters pretty quickly and easily with not a lot of thinking. I've used this system on my primary belt for quite some time. Never had issues with it, never had the plastic break or anything of that sort. Very, very happy with that QLS system. Moving on, Jeff had a deal going on, which he does throughout the year, so keep an eye out for it if you're interested. Wherefore, let me get you the prices real quick. Just this belt, so this whole instructor setup is what he calls this, the enhanced duty belt range package. Comes with your belt as well as mag pouches for $270. Now when we did this deal and we were buying this, or actually Jeff donated this, I'm sorry, but at the time you could buy this for $216. He had a discount code, and it was because he's been in business for 10 years, and a way of saying thank you, he gave a discount code. He does those throughout the year, and maybe when we release this, we can talk to Jeff and say, hey, for 48 hours, if someone uses our code, can they get a discount? We'll talk to him. We'll throw that in the notes if that's the case. Jeff might just say no. So who knows? Jeff's a wild card, right? But with this range belt setup, it comes with 3 mag pouches and the belt. I had mine built for Glock because that's all I run, and 1 AR mag. Pretty cool little system there. I haven't attached anything to the back part of it just because I'd have to unthread my med kit and throw it on here, and as we know, it's a hassle, and I just need to buy a dedicated med pouch for this and just leave it on here for when I use this belt. So once you have that inner belt in there, you can see the rigidity of that belt is, I mean, it's the most rigid belt that we have reviewed thus far. Even with a pistol here, which is still unloaded, we're just gonna drop the slide. Even with the gun in there, super rigid. I mean, it didn't make a difference at all. So even if we had full mags loaded, a full gun, etc., the way that he builds these belts and how rigid they are, because they're double layer, double layer, double layer. So you have 6 layers of webbing that is keeping that belt rigid. By far the most rigid belt on the market. If you're wanting, you know, something that holds all your gear all day on the range, that isn't gonna move or change or shift or anything, this is the belt to go with. Some people might prefer the more rigid. I like something with a little less rigidity just because I'm fat and it moves a little bit easier. I have talked to Jeff, and once this belt breaks in, it's probably gonna be right at the perfect amount of rigidity and kind of wiggle that I need for it. So great system. Jeff is an absolute gem. Thank you, Jeff, for donating this to us for the review. We really appreciate you. I've had a good time running this belt. It's high quality. I've been to his shop. I've seen the guys that make the belts. Double stitch, bar tacked. It's just good quality products. So if you have any questions, jump on his website. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Have a good rest of your day.